So sorry, guys. I was on a phone call and didn't realize I was already live. I think I somehow stopped the countdown timer. Who knows? I don't know. I shouldn't be allowed to mess with techie things. So hey guys, what's up? Hang on, let me change. I feel like I'm like off my game here because I didn't realize I was already live and I was trying to still make sure everything was set up. So, how is everybody? Tell me hi, where you're from, and I will get started in a second. Hey, Brenda. Welcome, Marcia. Yeah, I popped in early accidentally, but that's okay. So if you guys remember yesterday, I cut out this piece on the Glowforge and I showed you guys how to use our template files in a Glowforge. And so I actually goofed up on that Facebook Live with the Glowforge because I did not align my wood properly. And so I'll have to show you guys again so that you guys see that it doesn't always happen that way. But some of you guys were like, I'm glad I had a goof up because now I know how to troubleshoot problems. So I wanted to show you that, yesterday it didn't cut all the way through in a couple of places and I had a little bit of splintering. And I had some like wood pieces and stuff that were kind of like flaking off the back. So what I did was I ran it outside. Hit it real quick with a sander and fixed those spots. And then I didn't have any wood filler because I think my wood filler dried up. So what I did was I put a little bit of drywall spackle in that splintered spot. See, it even goes over the edge there a little bit. In the splintered spot, I let it dry and then I just hit it real lightly with a sander. And now it's smooth as butter. So now I can paint right over it and you won't even notice that little spot. So if any of you guys have had problems like that before, where even if you're using a jigsaw or something and sometimes you just hit a bad spot in the wood. It's like you hit the wood grain the wrong direction. So if that happens to you and you have a splinter and you don't have any wood filler, you can use drywall spackle. And something else you guys may not know, you can actually make your own wood filler if you have a bunch of fine, what am I trying to say? Sawdust. If you have a bunch of fine sawdust, you can actually mix that with a little bit of wood glue and like put it over the spot, let it dry, and you can sand it also. Hey guys. Hey Joanne. Hi Michelle. Tammy said I'm late, but I made it. Actually, I popped on live a couple minutes early on accident. I accidentally turned off my countdown while I was getting ready. Sawdust. That was the word I was trying to think of. Thank you, Joanne. So we're fixing to get started painting this cute little bird. We had a poll on Saturday on which one I should paint. And it was so close, you guys. It was almost exactly. Half of you were for A and half of you were for B. And this was B. And it was the cute little birdie. So we're going to be painting this one today. There were like over 700 votes. So that was crazy awesome. What's your favorite blade for the jigsaw? Tessie asks. My favorite blade is the scrolling blade. It's got 20 TPI. It's really skinny. And so it can get in nice little cracks and crevices really easily. So I really like that one. But 20 TPI is the most important part. So just remember that when you go to the store to buy one. Let's see. I was pulling up my picture so I have a reference photo to look at. You're making a pound cake. Oh, Joan, that sounds delicious. Belinda said, I did my first time cutting with the jigsaw. Thank you for that tip. Awesome. So if you guys did not get a text that we were going live, you can get on our VIP text list by texting the number on the screen, and we'll notify you next time I'm getting ready to do a Facebook Live like yesterday when I popped in unannounced and did the live showing how to cut this on the Glowforge. A lot of you guys got the text when we did that. So good morning, Deetra. Welcome. So I'm going to take that off the screen now, but you can screenshot it real quick if you need to.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Siri thought I was talking to her. I'm not talking to Siri. Okay, let's take that off and get started. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Oh, y'all know what I forgot to grab. I forgot to get an egg carton out of the closet. Hang on. I have like thousands of them up in here, and I forgot to get one out. So I got to get that. Oh, and I also need a ruler, which I forgot to grab, because we're going to be doing some straight lines. So we'll go ahead and get that out. Okay. I think I'm ready now. You're on lunch break. Cindy, that sounds nice. What are you having for lunch? Brenda says, say that again about the blade. 20 TPI scrolling blade. Pam says that's her favorite blade too. Good to know. Okay. So the background color of this design is a lovely, like soft green color. and I may have to mix it. I picked the color on my iPad, and then I was like, do I have that color? I don't even know. So hang on. I got to decide. Do I want to do this? I usually pick my colors ahead of time, but I've had a busy morning. So I haven't even had a chance to do that yet. So we may have to just wing it as we go. I think I'm going to use this Hauser light green, and I might soften it up a bit by adding a little bit of white to it. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now you can see Hauser light green. And we're going to soften it by adding a little bit of white. That'll take out a little bit of that lime color and make it a little bit more of a muted green color. Hello, Candy. Hi, Mary. Welcome. That's the bottom of that bottle, too. I have more, though. Don't worry. And by the way, if you guys need any paint, you can order directly from DecoArt themselves. We put the link up in the video description for you, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, we did. And we also have a lettering workshop going on next week. So if you have not signed up yet for our wood letter workshop, it starts next week on the 23rd. I'm going to be teaching you 3 different ways to paint wooden letters. And I've got them all hanging up behind me, but I realized they're kind of, there we go. You can see the G with the flowers. And then we've got the T with the leopard print. We're actually going to do zebra instead of stripes. And then the B has the farmhouse, rustic farmhouse stripes. And don't panic. I am painting over the letters on purpose because these etched lines will show through the paint. I'm not worried about it. It's okay. But we're going to be starting that next week on the 23rd. Each day I'll be teaching a different design. Yesterday, I actually went live in the Wood Letter Workshop Facebook group while I was shopping. And I took you guys on a virtual shopping trip with me. And we went to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and Walmart. And I compared the choices of paint, brushes, sealer, and wood cutouts at each store. And Hobby Lobby was the winner out of all 3. They had everything you need for the project. They had the big 18-inch letters. Michael's didn't have the big letters. I don't know if that's something they normally don't carry. I mean, I just assumed that they did. They have smaller ones, but they just didn't have the nice big 18-inch ones. So I would definitely recommend Hobby Lobby as your primary place to shop. I don't know about Joann's. We don't have a Joann's around here, so I wasn't able to check there. Good morning, Lisa. So for those of you who were in the Wood Letter Workshop, did you catch me shopping yesterday? Was that helpful? Do you get your templates onto your iPad? How do you get them on your iPad? Well, I draw them on my iPad, but are you wanting to download them? Because I think you would have to download the file and then unzip it. Unzip. So you may have to download an app. Well, no, because the new iOS on the app on the iPad allows you to unzip files now. So you shouldn't even need a separate app to unzip. Now that I think about it. Good morning, Christy. You have a rotary tool, but you're scared to use it. I don't use a rotary tool. We have We have a video, I think, in the Painters Clubhouse for one of our members who used a roto zip. So she might be able to help that video. Let's see. Christy ordered her paints. Taylor hasn't caught me live since the summer. Well, it's been a while, girl. Welcome back. No big letters at your Joann's. Oh, shucks. Lisa went shopping. She had already shopped. It was great to see my recommendations. You're watching while I'm working. Well, Mary, keep the volume down because I can get kind of loud sometimes. But yeah, while we were shopping, I was showing like the different kind of brushes and the different kinds of paint and what kind of paint I would buy, because I know for you guys, if you don't paint much, it can be kind of overwhelming when you step onto the painting aisle and you're like, there's like 50 brands of paint, 50 kinds of paint in each brand, and 100 million colors. So we kind of walked you through the paint aisle and simplified it for you. So hopefully that was very helpful. And then we showed all the different kinds of brushes, and we narrowed it down to like 1 pack you had to buy. And I think at Hobby Lobby, that pack was like $5 or something. It was cheap. So no need to go out and buy super expensive paints or super expensive brushes. Like anybody can do that Wood Letter Workshop with probably stuff you have on hand. If you have any paints or brushes on hand, you can probably just use what you got. You don't actually even have to have the exact paint colors that I have. You just have to have a wood letter. And if you don't have anywhere local that you can shop, you can order the wood letters from us for just $12.99. That's how much they cost at Hobby Lobby for an 18-inch letter. So we have priced them comparably to Hobby Lobby to make it easy for you. They were on sale at Hobby Lobby last week, but they are not this week, unfortunately. You're going to get started all new here. Welcome, Leslie. The kids are back in school. Hallelujah, right? It's nice and quiet in my house. I have the whole house to myself today. The kids are gone until 4 o'clock. I might even get to watch some Netflix later. You loved my shopping tour. Awesome. Hobby Lobby paint was off. Yes, Hobby Lobby paint is 30% off right now. So it's a good time to go buy the paint, even if the wood letters aren't on sale this week. Okay, we've got our background covered. I probably need one more coat on this, so let me dry it. Okay, yes, you can use a 12-inch letter, Donna. It doesn't matter what size the letter is. Mine are 18 inches, but you can use any size you like. A 12-inch would be really good for a kid's door or for just to set on a cute shelf or to hang on a gallery wall or to put on a wreath. So, you know, it doesn't really matter what size. It really doesn't even matter what font the letter is. I probably wouldn't use a really skinny font because you need enough room to be able to like draw flowers or leopard print and stuff like that. And if it's a super skinny, like scripty font, it might be hard to do the patterns. But other than that, you can use any kind of letter. And yes, our blanks are shipping out within 24 hours of purchase right now. So if you decide to order one from us, they're shipping out within 24 hours. So I can't guarantee how fast USPS will get them to you, but I can guarantee that they are shipping out within 24 hours of you ordering them from us. So we're doing our best to get them to you before the workshop begins. But if you don't have your wood letter in time to paint live with us, you can still interact by watching live, commenting, asking questions, and learning. And then when you get your letter, you can rewatch the video that you're getting ready to paint, and you can pay even closer attention as you paint because you can like pause it and stuff like that, which you can't do that live, you know? So you'll be able to rewatch it. That's actually what I recommend if you're a beginner painter, is you may not want to try to keep up with me while I paint live. You may just want to watch the first time and then paint on the replay. You'll have access to these videos for up to a year, so no need to worry about getting it done within a short amount of time. You'll have a whole year to get those painted. And it's all done inside of a Facebook group, a private group. So you'll be able to ask questions, interact with the other painters. You'll get to see what our Painters Clubhouse ladies are like. Lots of them are going to be participating in this workshop as well. So that's lots of fun. And you get to do it all for just $10. Did I mention that earlier? $10. That's all it costs. Even numbers for your house. Yeah, that's a good idea, Ruth. You could paint numbers for your house with these techniques. Kimberly says, I always worry that it's not going to look perfect. Is it important for it to look perfect? For those of you who watch me on the regular, you know that I'm going to say absolutely not. We're not going for perfection here. We're going for cute and handmade, and we're not going to worry about perfection at all. So don't worry about that. Because a lot of times when you get to the final product, when I get done with this, I won't worry about all those little flaws that I'm noticing right now. Because the final product hides a lot of those things and it draws your eyes away. Somebody said your husband was good to shop with you. He was actually the videographer while we were shopping. Sometimes he's a little too helpful. He starts giving me pointers while I'm in the video. I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted to say. Quit directing me and telling me what to say. Can you use cardboard? Absolutely, Leanne. I would not hang the cardboard on your door just because it's going to warp in the weather and everything, but it's a good way to practice because it's very similar to painting on wood. Okay, Pammy asks, what is a blank? This is a blank. Well, that's what we call it, a wood blank. So the blanks are the wood pieces that we ship to you, and we call them blank because they don't have any paint on them yet. What color green am I using? I'm using Hauser light green from Deco Art. Hauser light green. You got a phone call. How did you get your template onto your iPad to color it? Oh, download the JPEG, and then you can insert the JPEG or copy and paste it onto the Procreate app, and then you can just color right inside the app. Are there templates for the letters? No, there's no templates for the letters. We're just asking you guys to go out and pick one at a local craft store or buy one from us. That's just easier than trying to teach you guys how to cut them out of a jigsaw, because letters would be kind of tricky if that was your first one. Okay, we've got our background color painted. So the next step is to paint our stripes on the background. So let me pull up the picture and show you guys what we're talking about. The stripes look like this. So we're gonna, oh, you guys, you know what I just realized? I was talking and I forgot to add any white to my green, because I had originally planned on making this a lighter, like sage green, and I totally forgot. So, okay, we'll just do a third coat of green. So you guys are gonna be learning how to fix a mistake. So if you accidentally paint something the wrong color, just paint right over it. Easy. So we're going to get a little bit more green. This time we're going to add a little bit of white to it because I wanted to soften it up. I got carried away talking and did not even realize that I did that. And I like to use the bottom of a paintbrush to stir. So we're just going to stir this up, mixing it with regular white. See how it softens it up? That's probably too much. That's probably the color that we will want for our stripes. So actually, I may leave that color there, and right next to it, I'll mix a darker version. That way we have two shades. Just a little less white this time. I don't want them to be super different. I just wanted them to be just a little bit different, so enough that you can see the stripes. This one might need a tad more white just to make it a little lighter. Okay, that looks different enough, I think. Okay, let me clean this brush up. Let me dry the base coat before we put on the third coat. Let's see. I have not cut much MDF yet with the Glowforge, Denise, but there's a group on Facebook you could probably ask. It's called Girl with a Glowforge. Go join that group and ask some of them. They cut that stuff all the time. How much are the letters you have? We're selling them for $12.99, which is the same price you can get them for at Hobby Lobby. You're not brave enough to paint yet, and you need to just give it a try. Get out some cardboard. What's the worst that can happen? Paint on cardboard and practice. These ladies in the comments, I'm sure, can encourage you as well. If we pay for the workshop and we can't participate live, can we watch later? Yes. And somebody else asked, why not just go ahead and paint the stripes with the lighter color? Because the underneath color would still be a little bolder than what I wanted. So, I mean, this is not going to take long. We're just going to give it a real quick light coat of this softer green, because this, I mean, in person, this is like a very grassy green, and I wanted it to be just a little softer looking, and I didn't have the right color on hand, so I had to mix one, and I just got carried away and forgot to mix it first. You're super scared, Shannon. Don't be scared. What's the worst that can happen? So it may not turn out as good as you hoped. But you know what? Even if the piece doesn't turn out as good as you hope, you're still going to learn something. You're still going to make progress. And then the second piece will turn out a little better. Third piece, even better than that. And the more you paint, the better you'll get. But if you just stay scared the whole time, your painting skills do not improve. And you never will get better at it. If you're waiting to have the courage only comes through doing. I sound like a motivational speaker, don't I? It's easy to stay. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and they were talking about this very thing, about how sometimes it's easy to stay complacent and to just make excuses for ourselves and to tell ourselves that we can't do something, because staying complacent is safe. We don't have to worry about anything. We don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be afraid of failure or disappointing ourselves. And so staying complacent is safe. But what's the opposite of that? If you stay complacent, you don't ever have the joy of the finished product, or the joy of knowing that you've learned a new skill, or the excitement that comes along with learning something. So complacency doesn't do you any favors. It just keeps you from being scared. How do you avoid the hill of paint on each side of the brush when doing the details, if that makes sense? It does. I'll show you in the next step when we do our stripes. So I'm just going to set this brush aside because I'm just going to dip it in more green in just a moment. So we're going to get out. I'm going to use my General's charcoal white pencil. Tamara speaks the truth, she says. And it's kind of like a chalk pencil. And so we're just going to put stripes on this. How many stripes did the picture have? It didn't have a lot. They were really wide. 1, 2, about 3 of the darker stripes. So we'll just start somewhere. We'll start down here. And we'll line it up with the little scallops in the circle. Let's see. Is my pencil going to show up? Yeah, a little bit. So we'll line it up with these little scallops. That way they're nice and straight and we have a reference point. Let me rotate it. I can't quite see the lines. Oh, and I don't have another reference point over here, so I'm just going to have to eyeball this and make sure I get it straight. Looks pretty good. As you can see, I definitely don't worry about perfection. I'm just like, oh, I eyeball it. You guys would be measuring, wouldn't you? That's not why we have a ruler out. We don't measure. You used to paint years ago during a stressful time in your life and you moved and got away from it. Now you're back at painting and crafting with your 9-year-old daughter. That's awesome. I'm so glad you guys are going to participate in the workshop, Kate. It's a wonderful way to bond with your grandkids for sure. And it's a great stress reliever. Tammy says, you just have to do it. You might surprise yourself. Besides, you're at home. No one has to see it. I agree. Yes. Anne says she's glad you said that because it makes her feel like she's not the only one that's scared. You'll have to try. Yes, absolutely. Cynthia said, I was scared, so I bought a really cheap blank from Joann's and had it for weeks before I actually painted it, but it turned out pretty good. So you'll surprise yourself. I think that's probably the truth. You will surprise yourself at what you're able to do. Janie, there is a list for the paint colors for next week. They are in the Facebook group for the workshop. We're talking about the wood letter workshop. There's a link to sign up above. And it's in the guides tab of the Facebook group. It used to be called units, but now it's called guides. Okay, I'm going to rotate this because when I'm painting stripes, I find that I make a nice straighter line and I have more control when I'm pulling a paint or a paintbrush or a paint pen toward my body. So I'm just going to use this flat tip brush here and we're going to dip in the lighter color. So to avoid having the little hill of paint, here's what I do. I try not to get a ton of paint on my brush to start with. But then the second thing is like, let's say we're going to paint, let's see, let me choose what stripes I want to do. It'll either be this one, and this one, or this one, this one, this one. Let's do this one, and this one. So to avoid getting the paint on the hill of like this left side, I can kind of dab a little bit of excess off. If you don't have enough room to do that on the door hanger, dab it off on your egg carton like this. So you don't have a ton of paint on there. And then sometimes I'll pick a little bit more of that paint up and I'll just gently pull the paint where I want it to go. So think about pulling the paint where you want it to be. Now, if you accidentally get a hill, here, I'll make a little hill so I can show you. then see I've got a little hill right there. I can dab off some more somewhere else where I'm going to be using it. And then I can start to pick that up with my paintbrush. Think of like you're scooping it up. And then you just feather out the rest of it. Feathering is like when you do like this, like little flicks with your brush. Is that helpful? Tessie says, adding the black and white lines at the end to make the painting look pretty. Y'all go for it. Yes. If you've never watched me before, at the end, I always go in and add black and white detail lines. And it really helps tie the whole thing together. It's kind of like adding the lines to a coloring book after you've colored it. It's very addicting. Yes, it is, Lisa. You're speaking the truth. Okay, so now we're going to go in. Let me smooth this out so I don't have dried paint right in the middle. It didn't look that different in the egg carton, did it? But once we put it on here, after it starts to dry, it does look quite different. And to make a nice straight line, I move my whole arm and sometimes my whole body. So instead of doing my hand like this to make a straight line, I will place my brush where I need it. And then I won't wiggle my hand or my wrist. I will pull my whole body and my arm backwards. And if you start to get off track, just lift your brush up. See how I did that? I did that without even thinking. I dabbed some paint off because I had too much on there and I knew it was going to make a hill. So I'm going to put my brush back down on that white line and just pull some more. Oh, I got off line, so pick up a little bit more paint and go back. Started to run out of a little bit of paint there at the end, so let me go back over it. Helps if you bite your tongue or your bottom lip if it helps you to concentrate. I feel like that's a genetic trait in my family. We all do that. My mama's whole side of the family. We bite our lip or our tongue when we're trying to concentrate. Does anybody have any more questions about the wood letter workshop? What's the best paint pen to use for the lines? Leslie, I'll be using it here in just a few minutes when we get to that part, but it is a Posca paint pen. These are linked in my Amazon affiliate shop. If you need the link to that, I can put it up on the screen for you real quick and you can screenshot it. That's the link, and that's got all of my favorite paint supplies and things from Amazon on it. Kate says, to those who are afraid, you can always repaint and repaint. Sometimes the project takes days or weeks. That's so true. And somebody mentioned this earlier. You can sand it down with really fine sandpaper and just paint right back over it, especially if it feels like it has a lot of texture to it. Yes, we use the chalk to make the stripes. How long will it take to paint the letter G? How long will it take me, or how long will it take you? So me, it probably took about 40, 45 minutes, but it may take longer if you're not as experienced at painting, because I paint pretty fast. The only reason I paint slower on Facebook Live is because I'm busy checking comments and answering questions. If I was doing this by myself with nobody talking to me, I could probably have it painted in 20, 25 minutes. Pretty fast. What are you going to do with the 18-inch letters? So I don't know. I may give them away, or I may sell them eventually. We are going to be actually next Sunday night. We're starting a silent auction on my Facebook page, and we're going to auction off about 20 of my painted door hangers that I have laying around from previous Facebook Lives, and all the proceeds are going to go to a local family here in my area. The little girl is struggling with epilepsy and seizures and hemophilia. And she's not even like 2 years old yet, I don't think. Or maybe she is 2. Maybe she just turned 2. But we're raising money for her. And so we're going to be doing a silent auction. So you guys be sure and tune in next Sunday night for when we talk about that. I'll remind you again on Friday, Fab 5 as well. Okay, let's dry it real quick. You guys excited about the silent auction? Awesome. I know some of you have been asking if I sell my painted pieces, and I usually don't. I have almost 100 of them sitting around here in baskets and things ready to go. But we're only going to be selling like 20 of them for this fundraiser. And then we might do it again in the future for a different cause. So we'll see. I'm doing a quick second coat on this. I had been saving them up and taking them to my live events and selling them there. But since we couldn't do a live event this year because of COVID, I had just had them all piling up. So we had quite a few. You think I went into the darker green around the bird's head? Yep, but I'm not worried about it. It's going to be okay. We're just going to let it go. And I think I got out of line right there too, but oh well. It is what it is. Notice the non-perfectionist in me. Oh, there's a paint booger. I'm just trying to right now cover up any areas that had a little bit of wood, or not wood, but like the darker green showing through. Okay. You love this design, Pam? Hey, how are you? What do you usually do with your pieces? We usually just put them in a basket and save them for a rainy day. Sometimes I give them away to friends or family members or people who need, something. So last line is uneven. You went down into the other green by the head. Oh, I see what y'all are saying. I totally ignored my paint line. That does matter a little bit. I normally don't get all tore up about getting out of line, but I see what you're saying. This line, this area is not supposed to be that color. I didn't just get out of line. I painted it the wrong color. It's an easy fix though. See, we just got a little round tip brush and we fixed it. But thank you for noticing. I probably would not have ever noticed that. I'm not a details person. You can ask my husband. Okay, we're going to dry it and then we're going to paint our bird. Bye, Tessie. I did it on the other side too. I hope y'all are laughing at me and having a good old time. Thank goodness I still had plenty of that green color left. I was too worried about getting down in that little crook of her arm that I wasn't even thinking about what color it's supposed to be. Here, we'll go ahead and put a second coat on that side too. Y'all go ahead and have a good laugh. It's fixed now. I know the lighting made it hard to see, but I fixed it. I'm glad y'all noticed. Okay, we're going to go with Gray Sky. I got to shake it up real good. And then we're going to paint the bird bath that color. I had to think of what that's called. It's a bird bath. And I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. This one is about 1/2 inch in size, and it's still flat tip. Those are my favorites, if you hadn't noticed. We do have them in our shop at shopdoorhangers.com. That's where you can also grab the template or the blank for this design. Here, if you need to screenshot that as well, or if you need to, oh, I don't even have that one up there. Oh, yeah, I do. There you go. If you need to screenshot that to access it later, that's where you can purchase any of our wood blanks or our printable templates. And the templates are what you use to print out. You trace them on your wood and you cut them with like a jigsaw, rotozip, scroll saw, whatever your weapon of choice is. I'm painting right over these little details in the bird bath too. They're going to show through the paint, so we'll detail them up later. You donated a porch leaner to your town Easter egg hunt. What a great idea. I had been for this fundraiser, my Uncle Corey friend, that's what we call him, Uncle Corey. He's my husband's best friend, my best friend too at this point, because we've been friends since high school. So we've known each other a long time. But he does a fundraiser every year for a local family and child in need, and he does a softball tournament. So Sunday night, you'll get to meet him on Facebook Live. He's going to come on with me, and we're going to talk about the family and the cause and all of that when we do the silent auction. And what was it? Where's I going with this? Oh, and in years past, I've usually just donated a porch leaner with the welcome on it. and an attachment and maybe a door hanger. So this year, instead of doing that, we're doing the silent auction and auctioning off about 20 of my painted door hangers to you guys. And then I'm just going to write him a check so that he can give it to the family. And it will go directly to her medical expenses, travel expenses, to appointments, or whatever they need. Yes, we do. We learn by doing mistakes. You want to do a birthday hat, but you can't find a pattern. I don't know that I've ever seen a birthday hat door hanger. We do have a birthday cake door hanger. And actually, you can get that template for free if you go into your app store on your device and you search Southern Adoornments Shop, Southern Adoornments Shop, download the app, search for the birthday cake template inside the app, and it'll be free inside the app, and you can go and download it there. And you can also use that app to shop in our shop. It's much easier than shopping like through a browser. You donated a cheerleader fundraiser. Awesome. Is there a video for an ice cream soda blank? I don't know. I don't think I have one. Okay, we've got the base coat of this covered. And then I want to add maybe a little bit of shading. Let's look at the picture real quick and see if it had any shading. Yes, it does. See how the difference in the grays on the bird bath? So we're going to work on adding a little bit of that shading. So we're going to get this slate gray color. Let me show you. So the difference here, we've got gray sky and slate gray. So this is the lighter one, and this is the darker one. You can see the difference in color. There's just a little bit there. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in my same egg carton hole right next to, you can see the differences when you squirt it out there. And then I'm going to get an angle tip brush because I like to use angle tips when I do shading. I'm going to dampen it just a little bit, wipe off the excess water. And then I'm going to put the toe, which is the long part, somebody taught me that, of the angle brush into the dark color and the heel into the light color. See, the toe has the dark color, the heel has the light color. Now we're going to put the toe on the outside of the bowl. And we're just going to pull our brush down and around the bowl. See that? Let's go back and get some more. Make sure to dip the toe in the dark color and the heel in the light color. And we're just going to pick up where we left off. You may have to pick your brush up and down a few times to kind of get it to blend, and keep pulling that paint on and around till it blends nicely. I feel like I need to blend it just a little bit more up here. And if your brush feels like it's dragging real bad, pick up a little bit of water. There we go. That softened it up. Make sure you're always putting that toe back down on the outer part of what you're wanting to shade. There we go. And once you get that nice shaded look, just stop. Because you can have a tendency to want to go over it one too many times, and then you get frustrated because it's like the shading doesn't stay. It just keeps, like, because the more you go across paint, sometimes it can start to get lighter and lighter, and it's like it disappears. All right, so let's do it again. But instead of going around the bowl, this time I'm going to go around these. You can't see them, but there's little bitty etched lines right here to indicate the different spots in the bowl. Same thing, only this time I flipped the toe outward. And I just brought it all the way back down to where it meets up with the other one. And then we'll do one kind of down the middle. So on this one, I put the toe in the middle and I kind of flipped my brush as I went on each side of that line. Whoops. You got to make sure and hold your brush the right direction. It's kind of hard. And then I'm trying to blend it just right there. Okay, let's do these little humps at the top here. There we go. I got outside the line right there, but we're not going to worry about that. Looks much better, doesn't it? You were curious on how you painted that one. You binge watched all of my videos looking for it. Are you talking about this one? I just painted it today. Okay, now let's do the bottom. Same technique. It really makes a difference, doesn't it? It goes from looking like a flat fountain to like a really nice, it's got three-dimensional quality now. Whoops, I just dipped my paintbrush in the wrong color. I'm having to do that little feathering technique because I had a little hill of paint right through there. It's kind of hard sometimes. You gotta keep feathering it. Tamara makes painting look smooth and easy. It's because I've been doing this for 6 years, and I don't ask myself to do it perfectly. I just keep trying. How did I get started in this? Let's see. So you want the long story or the short version? So the long story, if I don't tell it in full detail, maybe it won't take very long to tell you. But actually, let's just go with the short version. So the short story of it is my husband was deployed to Afghanistan years ago, and I was at home with 2 little boys before I had Charlie. And I was craving something to do. I was bored and I was tired of talking to little kids. I wanted adults in my life. I was missing my husband and I was lonely and I needed a distraction. And so I started like surfing Pinterest and trying to find a project or something to do. And I came up with the idea of inviting girlfriends over once a month to have crafting parties in my home. And so, yes, this is going to be on Facebook for you to go back and watch later, Diane. The easiest way to find it is if you share it to your page. You can go back to your page and watch it, and that's the easiest way to find it again. Okay, we're done with the gray. And so when he was gone, I started doing these crafting parties once a month in my home, and I had my friends over, and we had a great time. And we painted a different project or did a different craft every single month. And 2 or 3 of those crafts at the time were door hangers. And so after he came back home, I got to missing the crafting, and we needed some extra money. And I got the idea to do paint parties, not in my home, but in your home. And so then I started doing paint parties in people's homes and teaching how to paint these in like little workshops. And it was really fun. I got to meet lots of cool people in my hometown. And this is called Dark Chocolate, by the way. Eventually, Facebook Live kind of came to be a thing. And so I started toying with that, teaching how to make a bow. You guys may have seen that video on YouTube. It's my very first Facebook Live. My phone fell over twice during the video, and I was so embarrassed. But you know what? It got me addicted to Facebook Live. I like started realizing I could talk to adults and other people through Facebook Live, and that was so cool. And so I started like giving tips while I was painting. Next thing you know, I'm teaching. And then a few years later, you guys wanted to learn more, and it was getting harder and harder for me to like really give you the help you needed just through Facebook Live. So we started the Painters Clubhouse, which is a group that teaches you how to paint door hangers every single month. It's an awesome community that's now up to about 1,700 women and a few guys. And they're very supportive of one another. It's a great group to be a part of. And if you participate in our woodletter workshop, you actually get invited at the end of it to join the Painters Clubhouse. Hey lady, question, she says, how do you cover up the transfer lines from the carbon paper so easy? It takes layer after layer to get them covered. I wonder if you're pushing down really hard, or like if your graphite paper is newer than mine. Maybe my graphite paper has been used a bazillion times. And so my graphite lines don't usually go on that dark. And so when I cover them up, I mean, sometimes I actually go over them with a Sharpie before I paint. So the Sharpie then shows through. But I think the thing is when I go over things with like my paint pen at the end, it kind of masks all of that. So are you using a paint pen at the end to kind of like do some outlines and things? Oh, thank you. Melissa says, I love being a PC sister. You guys have probably been seeing hashtag PC sister in the comments. Those are all of our Painters Clubhouse ladies watching. We adore each other. This is what you decided to keep trying and trying, and I use a lot of paint. That's okay, Sharon. Oh, this color is called, oops, here we go, Victorian Blue. Isn't that pretty? Victorian Blue. And so I'm just using my little same brush we used to do the background color on this. It's a flat tip. Look how pretty that blue is. And we're going to paint our bird. And then we'll do some shading after we get the base color covered. So that's the long and short of it. I started teaching on Facebook Live, and the next thing you know, it evolved into a membership. And this business became no longer a side hustle anymore. It became a full-time job. And I have been loving every minute of it. I feel so blessed to get to do what I do, inspiring women to pick up a paintbrush and learn to paint, which in turn gives them the gift of creativity. It's like the cheapest form of therapy. And it's inspiring them in ways that you never would have thought possible. Some of them, it's like brought them out of their shell. They're no longer as insecure and shy as they used to be. They've gained a new sense of self-confidence that they have. They've, some women, once you become like a mom, your children are all your world revolves around. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes that can leave you feeling kind of lonely and depressed because you don't have anything that's just yours anymore. You feel like you live for your kids and you don't even know who you are as a person anymore. And so you need something that is just for you. You pay for your kids to do ballerina lessons and soccer lessons and baseball and swim lessons and art classes and all of this other fun stuff. But what do you do that's just for you? And if you're at home every day with your kids and you're a stay-at-home mom, or even if you're a working mom, if your entire day only ever consists of going to work, doing laundry, cooking meals, feeding, bathing, doing all the things that you do as a mom and a wife, then it feels like you're on a hamster wheel at times, because no matter how many meals you cook, no matter how many loads of laundry you do, it'll never be enough. There'll always be more laundry to do. And that's not that it's not a rewarding job. It's a very rewarding job. I love being a mother and a wife. I'm not complaining about it at all. But what I'm saying is that no matter how many loads of laundry you do, you never feel accomplished as you do when you paint something. Because when you paint something, you have something beautiful and physical to show other people, to show yourself, to hang on your door, to be proud of at the end of the day. So if you find time in between all the laundry, the cooking, the work, to paint, it's going to give you some inner peace, some self-confidence, something that's just for you. And so it's hard to really put into words how beneficial painting is, aside from just it being fun. But I know some of you guys understand what I'm saying. Am I hiring? No, afraid I'm not hiring, Leanne. Not right now. I take that back. We are kind of looking for a door hanger designer. So if you're good at drawing and creating art like this, and you know how to draw things like on the Procreate app or whatever method you do, we need somebody where we're looking for another design team member to help us design our door hanger templates. And so if that's something that interests you, you could send us an email at info@southernadornmentsdecor.com and to inquire about that, and send us some examples of your work maybe, and we'll see what we can do. Melissa said, Shannon May, you need to join the Painters Clubhouse. It's so nice that these ladies give you a big ego on your photos. Because we bash our own work a lot of times, don't we? We sit and pick it apart and we say, oh, well, it would be so pretty if I hadn't messed up on this spot, or if I had done that better, or if my flowers looked better, or if my hand lettering was better. There's always a but. And we never truly appreciate our own art as much as we should. And so sometimes if you post a photo in a place like the Painters Clubhouse where there's other door hanger painters, it's so gratifying. I need a bigger brush. This is annoying. That little one just wasn't doing the trick. It's so gratifying when some of the other ladies are like, oh my goodness, I love how you did XYZ, and it makes you appreciate your own work more. And I don't know about your husbands, but my husband, if I show him something I paint, and this could just be because I do this for a living. If I show my husband something I paint, he'll be like, oh, that's nice, babe. But, you know, and he'll like point out like a little tiny flaw. And or sometimes he doesn't always do that. I don't give him enough credit. He's awesome. But sometimes he'll be like, that line doesn't look as straight. And he's more of a perfectionist than I am. He'll be like, that line doesn't look as straight as that other one. And I'm like, you just shut up. I didn't ask you to point out the flaws. But even if he doesn't point out a flaw, sometimes he'll be like, oh, that's great. That looks great. But that's not the feedback I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody to gush about it and to be like, oh my goodness, your flowers are the prettiest flowers I've ever seen. I want somebody to hype me up. The Painters Clubhouse is a good hype group. Pamela says, depression is the worst, but there's a great community waiting for you in Painters Clubhouse, and we encourage each other. What color are you painting the beak? I'm glad you asked because I got carried away and forgot to show you. It's Canyon Orange by Deco Art. This is listed in my Deco Art favorite paint color list, so you can go and grab that if you click the link. I think we may have put it in the video description. If we didn't, I'll put it in the comments later. Let's see. I forgot. I wanted to give away a few things or like some happy mail while we're watching here. So let's see. Miss Pamela Honecker, I would love to send you some happy mail for leaving that sweet comment for me. So if you will email me your address at info@southernadornmentsdecor.com, I want to send you some happy mail. I'm going to leave your name up on the screen just for a second in case my assistant's watching. She may be writing it down as fast as she can. Michaela said, men just don't understand. I know. They need to hype us up a little bit more. Thank you, guys. Shannon said I got it. Shannon is my assistant that's usually here. She's a little under the weather today, so y'all tell Shannon you miss her. She's usually here making me laugh in the background. Okay, so I'm going to add a drop of like a dark gray to this blue to create a slightly darker color of blue so that I can do a little bit of shading. Just a drop. Oh, hang on. This one needs shaking. You just joined the group and you're so excited about the wooden letters party. Heather, I'm excited too. So if you haven't signed up yet for our wood letter workshop, these are the 3 techniques we're going to be teaching. The rustic stripe, animal print. We're going to do zebra and leopard. That's not zebra stripe. That's just regular stripes. But on the workshop, we're going to do zebra. And then this really cute floral pattern is fun. We're going to do that. So go and grab a wooden letter from your Hobby Lobby. Sign up for just $10 in the link up above. Y'all, I'm so busy talking that I started that in a separate thing. I wanted to get a drop of it and mix it with some of this to create a darker burn. That's not even going to be dark enough. After all that shaking, I got to get some black. This almost looks like it could be a bee or a beehive. How? I'm confused. How does it look like a beehive? Hi, Nancy. I'm doing good today. How are you? Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit of this black on the tip of my brush and just mix it with the blue. I'm only going to mix it with like half of my blue right here because I want to be able to dip the toe of my angle brush in that darker color and the heel in the lighter color. Okay, so see what I did there? We've got like a navy blue right here and a lighter blue next to it. You must be doing something wrong because you can't find the wood letter workshop info. Janie, is it in? I thought it was in the video description. Let me look. Hold on. Hold, please. Oh, come on. I got to go there. Hold up. Hold up. Yes, it is in the video description. I will also drop it in the comments for you just in case. But if you can't find the video description, if you tap on your screen, if you're watching from a mobile device, a lot of times it'll just appear on the screen if you tap. Let's see. Okay, there we go. There's the link. You missed the name of this blue. It is Victorian blue. Let me get my brush just a little bit damp. Dip the toe in the dark blue and the heel in the light blue. And we're going to do some shading on these wings. That looks great. Love it when it comes out the way I want. There we go. Let's do a little bit on the face and the head. Around the edge here. It's hard because you kind of have to turn that angle brush a little bit when you get further down, because if you don't, you'll run into the beak. So you kind of have to rotate it right. Blend, blend, blend across the top. I wanted the top to be a little lighter, so I may get a little bit of light gray and just add a little shade right there so that she's got a highlight on her head. So that's that light gray. I'm just adding a little bit on the top of that head. Okay, let me do a little bit of shading actually on the body too, to differentiate it from where the wings start. You'll notice I'm getting better at my shading. I'm doing it more often. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let me show you up close so you can see the difference in the colors. Can y'all see that? Let me show you this way. There we go. Now you can see really nicely. Okay, he's looking creepy, so we got to do something about those eyes. So in the picture, where was the picture? Here we go. The eyes are black with little white dots. We also have to go add that little fluffy detail on his forehead. Okay, so let's just do the eyes first. I'm going to get a round tip brush, some black paint. We're just going to fill in this area with black. There we go. Let me see your comments. Just fill it in. There we go. And then let me rinse this. Thank you for saying that, Dot. I appreciate you. Dot, why don't you send me an email at info@southernadornmentsdecor.com and I'll send you some happy mail. Oh, I need some white now. Be sure and send me your address. We're just going to do our little white dot in our eyes. I'm just using my round tip brush and just putting a tiny little dot right there on the eyes. Makes all the difference. Okay, going back to our photo real quick. My bird turned out a lot darker than that bird. I probably should have used Laguna instead of Victorian blue, but we're going with the darker bird. It's okay. I want to make that little fluff on his forehead a little lighter than the rest of his his feathers. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of white and mix it with my Victorian blue to create a lighter shade. And I'm just going to draw it on there with my round tip brush. And then we're just going to fill it in. It's a little lighter than I'd anticipated. Let me add a little bit more blue. I want it to be subtle. I want it to be that bold. Now I'm mixing a little bit of the darker blue in with it so it doesn't look quite as crazy. And we'll make it look cuter in a minute with our paint pens. Thank you, Jennifer. The bird is Kentucky blue. Yep. I'm keeping you company while you're making pot holders. Awesome. All right, so we still have to do our lettering and our finishing touches, and then we'll be done with this. So let's go ahead and do our lettering. I may do it with a filbert tip brush. Let's see. I like to measure. You guys can't see the lettering, but I like to measure by putting my filbert tip brush in the middle of each letter and seeing how wide it's going to spread out when I push down the bristles. And if it gets too wide, then I'm not going to be able to use it because it's going to expand the paint and make like a blobby letter. And I don't want blobs in my letters. Where did my black paint go? Here it is. When you were doing paint parties, how much time did it usually take you to do one? Well, Kathy, that's a good question because in the beginning, when I first started, almost every party took forever. It was like 4 hours. It was too long. The husbands started calling and they were like, "Honey, I thought you said this was only going to take a couple hours." And they're like, "Well, I'm not done painting yet." And the problem was we sat around talking instead of painting or eating because the ladies were such good cooks. And I didn't know to bring hair dryers with me to the parties. And so when I finally learned a few things like that, I started bringing hair dryers and I started encouraging the ladies to put on a base coat. And while the base coat was drying, go eat a snack and then come back. And I would constantly like work the room. I'd be walking around and reminding everyone, we've only got an hour left or whatever. I'd try to set a time limit to be done by. Because some ladies, they could, you guys are probably just like this. You could probably spend 4 hours, maybe 8 hours working on one door hanger because it's never going to be perfect, but you're trying to make it perfect. And so you have to just finally set a time limit and say, we're quitting at 8 o'clock or whatever it is. And so I would constantly remind everybody, what time it was, how much time we had left. And so that kind of encouraged them to speed up, to not sit and talk so much. Stuff like that. But yeah, in the end, my parties usually lasted about 2.5 hours, 3 at the most. Kind of just depended. Okay, this brush is not working out well for me, so don't feel bad if you have to abandon a brush midway through the project because it's not serving you. I'm going to switch to a smaller one that's going to cooperate a little better. Actually, I think I may go with a round tip brush and see how this goes. So this one's a round instead of a filbert. Get a little wet. Pick up my black. By the way, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I did water down my paint while I was talking. I watered down the black paint a little bit because that helps it go on a little smoother when I do my lettering. Makes it where I don't have to redip my brush every 5 seconds. I can keep smoothing and making the shape of the letter without worrying about it so much. But you do have to be careful when you water down your paint because it will drip as you pull your hand across to do the next letter. So just keep a baby wipe handy in case that happens. What other questions do y'all have for me? Kathy says, I've learned a lot from watching you. Thank you. My stomach is growling. Melissa just found the app, the Southern Adoornments Shop app. Awesome. So go get your free birthday cake template in the app. Karen says, I can't get the app on my iPhone. Is there a different spelling? Are you spelling adornments with 2 O's? ADOORNMENTS. Southern Adoornments app. Southern Adoornments Shop. Macon says, I keep thinking, do you need to use the Posca pen when you shaded it so beautifully? You don't need to, but I feel like it adds a little something else. If you like the look without the pen, that could become your style. My style is to always add those black lines. I just can't help it. I feel like it's missing something without them. My hair is getting long, isn't it, Karen? It's like when it's straight, it looks even longer than this. But yeah, it was like chin length. This is how much it's grown in the last year. Do you supply the paint for your paint parties in the beginning? Yes, I did. Yep. And I still do. If I was to do a paint party today, I would still bring all the paints, all the brushes, and the wood blanks, and then everybody just shows up and paints. It's lots of fun. I don't really do them anymore, but I am doing one in May for some like a ladies golf team here in town because they asked so sweetly, and because we needed some photos for a blog post about paint parties and stuff like that. And I thought, you know what? I haven't done one in a long time. I don't want to get back to doing them regularly just because I'm so busy with everything else, but I wouldn't mind doing one once in a while just to make sure that part of me doesn't get rusty. And because I miss it. It's fun. It's fun interacting with the ladies live. Yes, I have an app, Heather. It's the Southern Adoornments Shop app, and you can get a free birthday cake template in there. Are you following the etching on the blank? You can't even see my lines. Yes, ma'am, I am. So let me see if I hold it up real close. Hold on, I'll get a hold of it in a minute. You still can't really see the lines, can you? I can. You can't. I can. I don't know what the deal is. It's the lighting, I guess. Do you ever find use for all the other colors of Posca pens? Yes. So Kathy, I actually used the hot pink Posca pen last Tuesday when I painted the Easter egg live with you guys. I used it to do a pink drop shadow on some, I think it was it white lettering or what? I don't remember what we did. But it turned out really cool. The pink drop shadow was kind of like an unexpected pop of color that kind of gave it a fun look. So yeah, I've used them before. My kids use them all the time, actually. If I have like little wood cutouts that I've cut out on the Glowforge or something that I bought them at the Dollar Tree to paint, instead of using regular paints, sometimes they'll just come get those colored Posca pens and they'll just paint with those, and it's way less messy and less cleanup for me, so I love it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they're linked in my Amazon affiliate shop. They are it's like a pack of, I don't know if it's 15 or so paint pens, and they're all colors. So it's a nice variety pack. This round tip brush is doing so much better. It's more flexible. I can do the thinner upstrokes way easier. And by the way, y'all, I'm still not staying inside the paint lines that well. I'm still getting outside of them, but you really can't tell unless you were just looking really closely. So, and even though we had like 5 layers of paint on this right here, I can still barely see those etched lines. So I'm not freehanding this lettering. I'm painting inside the lines. I can freehand lettering. I just don't like to do it. It's not my, I'm very critical of my hand lettering. I know I preach to you guys a lot about things don't have to be perfect and blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't apply to me in my hand lettering. My hand lettering does need to be perfect. And I'm very self-critical about it, even though everybody's like, oh, your lettering looks great. In my mind, I don't like my handwriting. I don't like it. The only time I think I did a good job on hand lettering is like when I write it with pencil and I can erase and I can shade and, you know, I like it with pencil if I'm doing like script lettering. But other than that, I hate it. But we are our own worst critic. Any graduation type door hangers or ideas? We have several in the shop already, but we are planning on coming out with some new ones, I think next month in April. If you're a Template Club member, you'll get them on April the 1st. If you don't know what Template Club, whoa, I just zoomed in on the whole screen. Hold on. If you don't know what Template Club is, I can explain it to you real quick. So we sell printable templates for all of our designs, and they're all usually $5 each. Now, starting on April 1st, all of our template prices are going to go up to $7 each. But if you're a Template Club member, you get all of the designs every single month for one low cost, which is just $30 a month. And in April, there's 5 Fridays, which means you get 25 designs for just $30. Now, the price for Template Club will go up when the cost for templates goes up on April 1st. But if you sign up before March 31st for Template Club, you are grandfathered in at that $30 a month price. So no matter how high the cost of templates goes eventually, you will always be grandfathered in at that low price. And so if you're already spending money every single week in my shop buying 1, 2, 3 templates, you're probably already spending close to that amount. So why not go ahead, join the Template Club and get all of them so you don't have to pick and choose which ones are your favorite. Okay, we got our lettering done. Is the handwriting on the templates yours? I want to learn how to do handwriting. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's font. This is a font. But it just depends. Yeah, April 1st is April Fool's Day, so it's not an April Fool's. It's actually happening. Okay, let's see. So now we're ready to do our paint pen details. Let's see. I don't know if I want to use the big one or the small one, so we'll start with the small and work up if we have to, because it's easier to do that than starting with the big one and working down. But these are the Posca paint pens. I'll put the link to the Amazon affiliate shop back up on the screen real quick if you need to screenshot it. That's where I have all of my favorite stuff listed. This is the smallest one, the 3M size. Be careful though. There are some Posca pens in that folder that are brush Posca pens. They're different. These are the bullet tip. You want the bullet tip ones for this project. You better stock up on designs now. Yes. What templates do you get? Michelle, you get all the new ones that we're going to be releasing each month. So whatever designs we're going to be selling in the month of April, instead of waiting each Friday to buy them at half price or to buy them on a regular day at regular price, you could get them for one low price at the beginning of the month. You get them early on the first of the month, and you get a steal of a deal because it makes them about $1 each. Oh, hang on. We're going to have to rotate this so I don't get my curve all messed up. But you don't ever know what you're getting. It's always like a mystery bundle of the new designs that we're going to be releasing. Looks good, don't it? You forgot the water splashes. Thank you. We'll have to go back and add that in a minute. I always like to reference my photo because I'm busy talking when I'm painting and I forget those little details that I wanted to add. But when I'm sitting down to design it, like on the iPad, I have all kinds of great ideas and I can focus on the details. So I always like to use my reference photo, even when I'm painting on Facebook Live with you guys. The chisel tip Posca pens don't work as well as the bullet tip pens. Robin Van Atta says, you have to be very conscious of the direction of the chisel tip or your lines will be inconsistent. Thank you for that tip, Robin. Send us an email at info@southernadornmentsdecor.com. I'd love to send you some happy mail since you're so sweet to share your tips with us here on the Southern Adornments Live. I appreciate you. You love the template club. It's like Christmas to me. That's what everybody says. They say it's like Christmas on the first of the month. So that's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I feel like the shading, you know how Macon asked earlier if the lines are necessary when you shade, the shading still shows up around those lines just fine. I just feel like this adds an extra piece of like finished, like it just looks finished to me. But if it looked finished to you without these lines, then that's probably a sign that your personal style may not include putting black lines around all of your designs, and that's fine. We can all have our own styles. That's what makes art so fun, is our stuff doesn't have to look like everybody else's. Oh, sorry, let me take that comment down. Your paint pens are new. You're getting a blob paint when you stop. What are you doing wrong? Michelle, it sounds like you may be pumping the pen, like pumping the little tip up and down to get the paint to come out. If you pump it too much, then it will drip or leave a blob of paint like that. I hardly ever pump my pens. I only do that if I can tell the paint's not coming out. So you won't see me pumping my pen very much. Okay, let me put my photo back up here real quick. Where'd it go? The water splashes. Yes, we forgot those. And there's some cute little details like right here on the wings. Like right here. And then the outline around the outside. And then there's like little highlights. Okay. So let's do our water tip splashes. Actually, hang on. No, never mind. I was going to say we might get out the colored Posca pens for that, but I was afraid the blues wouldn't match. So we'll just use the blue that we have here. I might even add a little bit of white to it. So it's, well, we already did that, didn't we? For the little fluffs on his head. I'm going to water it down a little bit too because it's drying up. Okay, and I'm using a round tip brush. Actually, I probably need this other round tip brush because it was skinnier than the one I had now. And we're just going to pick a little bit of that up. Let me look at my picture. There's a few on this side and a few on that side. So there's like one right here. So just draw like a little teardrop with the point coming toward the bird. There's one there. You could even add like a little bit of the darker blue in there to give it a little bit more shading. There's a couple over here. Make them go in different directions. So this one's kind of falling downward. Whoops, I accidentally did a teardrop on this other side. So this is going to be a big water droplet. Oh well. Let's add some dark blue to it. Do a little bit like right up here. Maybe two of them right up here. Add a little dark blue. And then a few over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add one more. 5. I think I like that. And fill them in. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of the darker blue. Add just a little bit of that. So it's got a little bit of variation. And ta-da! We got our water droplets. What do you think? Thank you, Debbie. Welcome. You don't have to match. Yeah, I guess I could have done that. Eyebrows. Thank you. Let me go back and look at my picture. You guys are really good at this. Yup, the eyebrows are missing. So let's add that too. They go right up here. Make sure your eyebrows are not doing this. They have to do this. Because if they're doing this, he's mad. Okay? They got to tilt down and out. You wouldn't think that would be a big deal, but it is. He has eyebrows on the reference picture. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Let's look again. Okay, we're also missing our white highlights. Anything else you see that we're missing? And the lines around the outside. Okay. Oh, hang on. I saw something else. Nope, maybe I didn't. Okay, we got it. Let's just do our outline. Do this one. Let's add a few cute little dots. Little dots. We're just going to rotate it. Makes it easier. There we go. Ta-da! Now we need to add our white highlights. So I'm going to use a white paint pen for this part. The lines on his eyes. What did I miss? Damon, you're paying that close of attention? Yes, you're right. I did leave that off. Damon, you got better things to do than to point out what I messed up on. I'm just teasing. He pointed out that I left like the little lines at the bottoms of his eyes out. Good call. He's much cuter now. Okay, I already opened this. So now we're going to add our little white highlights. Oh, hang on. See how that didn't hardly show up? That means I need to pump that paint pen. So after you pump it, I usually like doodle on a sticky note or something and kind of dab, dab, dab to make sure it's not going to drip because you don't want it to do it on your door hanger. But if for some reason it does drip or leave a little blob, that's when you need to get out a baby wipe and clean it up real quick. Let's add a little bit in our water droplets. Not every single one, maybe, but a few of them. A little bit here on our fountain. There we go. Makes everything kind of pop, doesn't it? Maybe a little bit in our fluff. Okay, now for the highlights on the letters, that's done a little differently. We're going to use a round tip brush. You're listening, you're learning so you can paint the patriotic bird. Are you really going to paint it? For real? Damon's going to paint one of my door hangers. I'm blown away. Okay, so for this part, we're going to take our black paint, pick up a little bit of white or gray or something like that, and mix it in so that we're creating a lighter shade of the black to do a little bit of a highlight. Maybe add a little bit of water too so that it's nice and runny and easy to work with. Once it's light enough, then you should be able to do your highlight. So now we can add a little highlight in each of the downstrokes of our letter. The downstrokes are where your pencil would naturally go down if you were writing this. You could also use white, but I feel like white is a little too stark, so I like to do like a lighter shade of the black so it's a little bit more subtle. See? You're glad I picked this one. It's so cute, isn't it, Melissa? So fun. All right, you guys, I think that's all for today. So if you guys have any questions about our wood letter workshop, I'll hang around for just a minute. Let me show them to you a little bit closer up. Hang on, let me just hold up. First of all, let me show you this one a little closer so you can see the true colors, because I know that overhead angle doesn't always show the true colors well. And I think this blank space above the words would be a great place to attach the bow. Don't you think? And then here is the floral one that we're going to be teaching in the wood letter workshop. So you get to choose. You can paint one letter. You can paint all three letters if you want. Or you can just paint one and choose the technique that you like the best. Here is the leopard print. It's got a little bit of gold in it. Now, I did stripes on this one. It was actually inspired by a pair of earrings that I have. But I think in the workshop, instead of doing stripes, I'm going to teach some zebra print. So zebra and leopard on that one. And then the last one is this rustic farmhouse stripe. So this one is really cool. If you don't like this color scheme, you can totally do something else. You could do it all white if you wanted, with just some of these lines through it like this, and it can just be really rustic, like natural colors. So you wouldn't have to do it this like fun carnival color, or you could do it more like pinks and teals, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's only going to be it's only going to be $10 to participate. Yes, Christine, Painters Clubhouse members get to do it for free. So if you're a Clubhouse member, all you have to do is go into the announcements tab in the Facebook group and click to join the Facebook group for the workshop, because everything's happening inside the Facebook group. Yesterday, we went shopping in Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and Walmart and showed you what supplies to buy. We picked up some more wooden letters so that I can use those to actually teach the tutorials live with you guys next week. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be live. We're going to be giving away prizes. I think we're going to give away at least 3 prizes during each tutorial. So some of them might be like a free stencil. Some might be some free pasta pens. And then at the end of the week, when we have our letter parade, that's what we're going to call it. Whenever you guys submit photos of yourself holding up your painted letter, we're going to turn it into a slideshow and show it and do like a little celebration video. And that's when you'll get invited to join Painters Clubhouse if you haven't done it yet. And we'll do a grand prize giveaway on that live. Are we going to freehand the flowers since there's no template? Yes. Don't be scared. You are probably going to need a piece of chalk for that. I probably should have said that. You're going to need a piece of chalk, or even a white crayon would probably work. If you want, I can donate some gift cards for ribbon for their door hanger bows. How many of you guys would like Damon from Deco Exchange to donate some gift cards to give away for ribbon for their door hanger bows? Damon, I'm sure they would love that. Thank you. Amazon just told you they're no longer available. Is that the Posca pens? They could just be sold out right now. Sometimes that happens and then they come back in stock. So I could let you know when that happens. You can't wait for the class. Awesome. If you did sign up and you can't find the Facebook group, you should have gotten an email from us. Everybody's saying yes, Damon. Do you need a dabber? No, you don't need a dabber. You should have gotten an email after you signed up. So go look in your email first. Check your spam folder, your junk folder, whatever it's called, because it's probably where it landed, unfortunately. Don't worry about the freehanding, Anne. We're going to make it doable. It's going to be okay. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to hold your hand. It's all right. But if you cannot find that email with the link to the Facebook group, send us an email and we will get it sorted out for you. Okay. We will help you figure out where your, I was looking to see if I had my email up in here. I don't. We will help you figure out where your email is, or we'll resend it. And if you want to get notified next time I go live, text me at this number. You can actually text me questions here too about the wood letter workshop if you want. I check this text number every single day. It comes straight to my phone. And so I can text you guys back and forth. You can even send me pictures of what you're working on. Lots of cool, fun. If you want, you can actually text me your birthday and I'll let you know when, I won't let you know when I'm going live. That's not what I was going to say. I will send you a happy birthday message on your birthday. Damon's website is Deco Exchange. He teaches wreath making with ribbon and deco mesh. And he has a huge warehouse full of ribbon that he sells. So he's going to give us some gift cards so you guys can go shopping for ribbon for your door hangers. Oh, that's okay, Donna. If you need to, just email us at info@southernadornmentsdecor.com. Do we still sign up? No, Painters Clubhouse members don't pay for this, Pam. Just go to the announcements tab in the Facebook group and join the workshop Facebook group. Yes, if you want the link to the Amazon affiliate shop where all of my favorite Amazon supplies are, it's right here. You can just screenshot that for later. Let's see. He's a sweet guy. Yeah, he's my business mentor. I was looking to see if I missed any other questions. What is a Posca pen? Lori wants to know. These are the Posca pens. They are paint pens that are better than any other paint pen on the market, in my opinion. And the set that I love on Amazon comes with 6 pens, 3 black and 3 white, and you get 3 sizes of each. Michael's also has the Posca pens. Thanks for sharing that, Letitia. Instead of letters, could we do background boards? Oh, absolutely, Cynthia. So yeah, if you want to just paint like a board and then glue a letter to it, you totally could. Or you could like get an Easter egg shaped cutout and paint a cool design on it so that you have an Easter egg door hanger design. It wouldn't have to be a letter. These painting techniques we're going to teach you, you can use on any door hanger. Wouldn't have to be the letters for sure. But yeah, it starts on the 23rd, which is what, next Tuesday? Is that correct? Next Tuesday? So you guys need to sign up before then so you can come and paint live with us. And we can ship you the wood letters if you don't have the ability to go to Hobby Lobby or somewhere and buy them. They're $12.99, which is what Hobby Lobby sells them for, plus shipping. I'm not sure yet what time the silent auction is starting Sunday, but if you get on our text notification list, I promise you we will text you so you don't miss out. What she's asking about is we're going to be doing a fundraiser silent auction starting Sunday night, selling 20 of my painted door hangers to raise money for a local child in need. So come and join us on Facebook Live Sunday night for that. Hobby Lobby, I don't think they sell the Posca pens. Heather, the wood I use is called Revolution Plywood from Hobby Lobby. No, from Lowe's. I think my brain's fried. I think I need to go eat. What size did you say you liked best? Of the Posca pens, I like the 3M and the 5M. Those are my favorites. Yes, Robin, they would. She said you should spell out the word create for a craft space. And you could do a different pattern on each one. All right, y'all, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys had a great day. This was a long live, but it was fun. I didn't have any kids here to interrupt me or distract me. And we had a good chat. Taught you guys a few things about shading and Posca pens and fixing mistakes. What white would be a good base coat to pre-paint? My favorite one, which is perfect. Oh, I forgot that camera's not on, is the Snow Titanium White by Deco Art. It's their Americana paint. You can pick that up at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And you can base coat them if you want to. It's not required though. All right. See you guys next time. Bye, y'all.